Yesterday, Mac Jones was traded by the New England Patriots. He is on his way back home to Jacksonville. He will soon be a Jaguar. Hi, guys. How we doing?
Hi, good morning.
End of an era.
End of an era. The Mac Jones era in New England
Now
is
we've dealt
over.
with the end of two quarterbacking eras in the last 4 years, right?
Yes, we have.
Very similar.
Yes, although I don't think anyone was celebrating the last one. It feels like some people might be happy or relieved that Mac Jones is going elsewhere after how his last season went. What do you make of this? So what do you think?
I always thought that there was a very, very small percentage that he would be able to sort of bail himself out of this, meaning looking back 2 years ago to the Matt Patricia experiment, the way things went down this past year, being yanked out of games, being put back in games, the price tag on him at 2.75, they don't have to pick up his option. You still have control of the player at an extremely cheap price. He's got experience to him. Coaches always look at that as like, well, we could fix this. And always worried about the new regime coming in, meaning the new offensive scheme led by McAdoo and Van Pelt, would look at this and look at some film and think, we can fix him. Yeah. There's something there. And I don't want to say worried about that because I agree. I think it's better for Mac to go elsewhere to get a fresh start, because I think it was going to be very difficult for him to play here.
So I think that's the big thing, is that everybody did need a fresh start. So so as far as how this happened, they made the decision at the combine. This is what they were going to do. They sat down with Mac Jones beginning of last week, said this is the direction they planned on going. They asked him what he wanted out of it. They went, and here's the really crazy thing. So
what do you hear?
The offer of the 6, I believe the Patriots got that offer on Friday.
Okay.
And they shopped it around on Saturday.
Can anybody beat it for a 5?
They were looking for a 5. I talked to a couple other teams that said that they were offering Mac for a 5, and they couldn't get a 5 for him. We heard and I've listened to so many people say it, and I have some institutional knowledge on this. I've listened to so many people say oh, San Francisco loves him. Kyle Shanahan loves him. The Niners have 11 picks, and they weren't going to beat a 6 on Mac. Think about that, right? So the more coaches that I've talked to that have worked with him, he's just not a first-round talent. And the biggest problem for Mac was that he went in the first round. This happens with a lot of guys. Is a guy goes in the first round, he's overdrafted, the expectations are too high, and it winds up becoming complicated because of that. He was never a first-round talent. And that is the baseline here. He played in a great system on a great team in great circumstances at Alabama. He had really good circumstances. His rookie year, he was heavily managed. But the reason why there wasn't even a 4 out there for him, and the reason why he'll go for less than Justin Fields will go for, even though Justin Fields hasn't had a ton more success than he has, is because Justin Fields is a first-round talent. He has first-round physical traits. And at the end of the day, for all of the other complicating factors, everything with the coaches and the changes and everything else, we just boiled down, they missed. Mac Jones was never a first-round talent. And I think if you start there, you can kind of see why this got so complicated in the long run.
Okay, but why does it matter that he's not a first-round talent? That's not why he's getting traded after 3 years. He's getting traded after 3 years because he did not play well and was put in a bad position in multiple years.
Right, because the expectation, because when you take a quarterback in the first round, right, the expectation is there the whole time, and that hovers over you. And look, when a backup comes in, and you can probably illustrate this as well as anybody. When a backup comes in, he's generally going to be heavily managed, right? So you're going to have a lot of fail-safes around him. You're going to try to run the ball.
Not with this team.
You're going to try to manage the game differently. When a backup comes in, that's what happens, right? When you draft a quarterback in the first round, the expectation is he's going to grow past that quickly. Yeah. And Mac Jones did not have the physical ability to grow past that. And as much as they tried with the different things that they did and everything else, he was never going to be the quarterback who was going to carry a team. And when you draft one in the first round, the expectation is that the quarterback will become that. I think that becomes a problem with a lot of guys who are drafted in the first round.
The fact you say that, okay, Mac Jones is not a first round. Is Zach Wilson and is Trey Lance a first round talent?
Yeah, physically, yes. Physically, look at Zach Wilson and Mac Jones are not in the same ballpark physically. That's why I always laughed when I saw people comparing Mac to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is like a really great athlete. Joe Burrow was like an all-state basketball player in high school.
I never understood that one.
I mean that like Joe Burrow. If you look at them physically, the way they're built, if you stand up next to them, they look like totally different athletes.
Okay, so break it down. Who do we blame for Mac Jones being traded yesterday after failing in New England? Do we blame the player or do we blame the team? And if you want to combine that, Belichick and the Patriots or Mac Jones, who gets more of that blame?
The team, because he was overdrafted.
Thank you.
Because he was overdrafted.
I don't think it's just about being overdrafted, though. You can't tell me that Mac Jones couldn't have performed better as Patriots quarterback than he did. He was capable of more than what he gave. He could have given them more, Bert, after that rookie year that they didn't get out of him because they didn't put him in a good position, and they should learn something as an organization. I know the coaching staff has now changed over.
Here's the root of the problem.
But they should learn from that experience.
Here's what you learn, though. You learn, do not mistake good for great.